Hold on, y'all. Let me fix the title, man. Jalen Rose. See how your mind be all over the place. What's up, everybody, man? Hope everybody's good. Hold on. Let me fix the title, man. Appreciate y'all looking out for me, man. Shout outs to my man, Y Diggy. Shout outs to my brother Kenyon as well, who just hit me. My bad, y'all. Let me change it. Jalen Rose. Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe. Hold on now. That's why y'all my people, man. Here we go. Let's get this changed. There we are. All right, man. So let's get to it. What's happening, good people, man? Thank y'all for tuning in, man, for what I like to call the Terrible Towel Special Edition. Terrible Towel Tuesday Special Edition, because it's not Tuesday. And yes, I want to promote my own show. Sue me. But anyway, guys, appreciate y'all tuning in. For you guys that are in here, and like I said, I thank y'all for getting me right on the title. Let me make sure it updated properly. It did. So how's everybody doing, man? Let me do a quick check-in. I want to allow some people to get in here before I get to yapping. How are you guys doing right now? What is your Steelers mental health as of today? How are you feeling about the situations that we know about and don't know about? The players that we've currently signed, mock drafts that you're seeing. I'm only going to spend about 2 minutes here before I get into what I want to talk about. But I just want to check in with y'all, man. How are you guys currently feeling about what's going on with Steeler Nation right now? As I say hello to some of the early folks in here. Again, my good brother, Y Diggy, appreciate you looking out on that title, brother. Nathan in the building. Kev, so fun. Elisa, hello, Elisa Shepard. Always want to take time to say hello to our special ladies of Steeler Nation. Hello, Elisa. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming by. Classic second line. Mr. Fleetwood. Pop is in the building. My good brother Tony in the building. Three Wings Mambo on the side. That's a DC brother right there, in case y'all don't know. What's up, Mambo? Let's see. Who else is up in here, man? Anybody else? Mark Cunningham. What's going on, Mark? And, of course, my good brother Kenyon in the building as well. And, again, Kenyon, I appreciate you as well, brother, for shooting me that text saying, hey, man, Kenyon got to add some sauce to it. He wouldn't be my boy if he didn't do that. Kenyon, let me see. Kenyon said, who are you scouting, the 5'5"? So for some of y'all that don't know, in the title, man, I had Jalen Rose instead of Jalen Milroe. Classic mistake right there. All right, guys. So you guys are probably here because of what I have in the title, who I have in the thumbnail, the bold prediction that I put out there, statement, whatever you want to call it, on Twitter. Actually, I'll find it and I'll let you guys know what I said. Because again, and I'm always gonna call it Twitter, man. I just can't get it in my mind that it's called X. And by the way, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be on X. That's just a sidebar comment, but we'll see. But what I said on there is I said, after further review, I may be mad if the Steelers don't, I put don't in caps, if they don't draft Jalen Milroe, even in the first round. That's the bold part. And I'm just being cheeky right there, but I'm going to explain it. I said, I know I may be on this ledge alone, and I'm good with that. I will explain and give my full breakdown in a stream tomorrow night in reference to tonight. I said, stay tuned. So some people are here because I said that. Some people are here because I said that. And let's get to it. Yeah, Diggy, that's probably why I'm going to go. And like I said, I'm not going to throw all the other, the other stuff on you guys, not in this show. My thoughts, worldly thoughts. I'm not going to do that here, but yeah, it might be time for me to let X go. Kev said, yeah, you are alone. So let's get to it. I got a laundry list of things that I want to talk about, both good and bad, in terms of Jalen Milroe. I have watched 5 games. Let's see, 5 or 4. I'm gonna let y'all know because you know I keep it a buck with y'all, man. I want y'all to know everything that I'm doing. I have watched, just so y'all have a reference point. I watched Oklahoma versus Alabama, Auburn versus Alabama, LSU versus Alabama, Alabama versus Tennessee, and I think that's it. So I only watched 4 games. I am going to watch more. I'm going to watch probably the Missouri game. And what was another one? It was another one I said I probably was going to watch. It's another SEC team. I just can't, it's slipping my mind right now. Oh, I probably will watch the South Carolina game as well. And out of those games that I watched, I saw good and I saw bad. So we're going to talk about it tonight. But I want to also phrase what I'm saying here, guys, as making a case. Making a case. I did the same thing with Jackson Dart. Some of you all saw that video. I did the same thing with Tyler Shook, finally saying his name correctly. Some of you guys may have seen that video. So it's only fair for me to say the same thing about Milroe. Just making a case for it and why I put out that tweet there. Also, I might even do one of these for Shedeur. Even though I feel like I could already say what Shedeur is, I watch plenty of their games, but I might go back and watch 3 or 4 games again and really analyze it, because again, as I was watching him during the season, I wasn't watching him in the mindset of being the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. I was just watching him quarterback, if that makes sense. But anyway, here it is. I'm going to address everything that I wrote down. First and foremost, yes, Jalen Milroe has streaky accuracy. He does. No way around that. Sometimes he makes some great throws. Sometimes he makes some not so great throws. I am the type of person that I look at all quarterbacks and I think that all quarterbacks have the potential to improve their game. The question is always, can they improve their game? You guys know me. I don't speak in absolutes about anybody. I just don't. I don't speak in absolutes about anybody, because everyone I give a chance to show me who you are. I don't believe that you can see that in college all the time. It's the same thing that Kenyon always says that has turned out to be correct. It's the same thing that we could say about Ohio State quarterbacks. We have seen Ohio State quarterbacks in the last 15 years or so that light it up. I mean, light it up, show accuracy, show strong arm, all of that. They get into the NFL, not so much, right? We've all agreed that C.J. Stroud might be the exception. I've seen C.J. Stroud also make bad throws, but the boy is pretty accurate. C.J. Stroud is a pretty good quarterback, and it showed even in his rookie season. But what I'm saying is, I don't judge college players like that. Some of you guys do, but I don't, guys. And I'm not being, I'm not making this up. I'm literally telling y'all that's how I do. If y'all have watched me for a few years, you would know that is kind of how I am with most players. I give everybody a chance because there's a chance of opportunity for a lot of NFL players that we've seen come in to the NFL. Some of them undrafted. Right here in Steeler Nation, I'll give you an old player on defense, and it probably could name even more of these guys. But who thought James Harrison was going to be what James Harrison is? Honestly, I don't think many people thought that with him coming out of college. I don't think many people thought that with him coming from Kent State. He's undrafted. I don't think many people thought that Jalen Warren would be what he is. Now, some of you guys was like, hey, I kind of like him. I didn't know much about him. And Jalen Warren, in his tenure, has become one of my favorite guys on field, because Jalen Warren is what I tell my son all the time. Just told him last night at his AAU practice. Dog, half of the game is effort. I was telling him, even in these practices, I want to see you go full speed. I want to see you go maximum effort in practice. And I was like, son, do you know why I'm telling you that? I said, I understand, y'all are kids and you're 11, but when it's AAU time, for y'all that know ball, there's some 10, 11, and 12-year-old kids that can hoop. This ain't play no more. But I told him, I said, the reason why I'm telling you to go hard, 100%, full speed, game speed, even the coaches be saying it, but I've been teaching him this, is because you practice like you play, brother. If you go 100% all the time, it's easy in the game because you're used to doing that. So again, effort. This is why I love Jalen Warren. Jalen Warren never gives me the impression that he's taking a day off, a playoff. Never. Ever. Whether that's pass pro, catching the football, lowering his shoulder, making a guy miss, getting low center of gravity, which he already runs more squatty, delivering the blow, always. So my point being, I didn't, who would have saw that? Who would have saw that? Who would have saw that before that draft? This kid went undrafted. So what I'm saying is, I don't look at college players and predict immediately what they are and are not going to be. True, all of us can look at prospects. Fair. We all do that. The scouts do that. We do it as fans, of course. But what I'm saying is, I don't close the door on people just off of where they're projected. I'm like, nah, let's see what they can do. That's all I'm saying. So let me get back to my point. Streaky accuracy. I give you that part. That's something that I think he can improve. We're hearing that he had an outstanding pro day, even throwing the football. Again, if you watch enough games, there's some throws that he makes. Boy has an arm on him. He's been accurate, but he's been inaccurate also. I'm not going to look past that. Questionable decision making at times. Yeah. There were some moments in them games I watched. Again, I watched some good ones because I was able to see bad in him and some good in him. Very questionable decisions at times, but again, a lot of these college quarterbacks do that. Not making an excuse. I'm just saying it from the eye test. A lot of what I was seeing, it's a lot of quarterbacks that I could say the same thing about in college. And some of these guys have gotten it together. Some may not. Hey, some felt like Kenny Pickett was an accurate quarterback in college, but didn't so much work. Didn't work out so well for us. Some may blame it on the scheme or whatever, but again, when we started looking at Kenny's tape, he wasn't necessarily reading the field the way he should. I'm just saying, some people didn't like Kenny Pickett from the jump. I get it, but I'm saying largely people were saying that he was accurate in college, right? And then in the NFL, a lot of us would say, not so much in what we saw in Pittsburgh. Let's move on to the next thing that's a little bit of a negative on Jalen Milroe. Ball security. Ties into interceptions, but also I saw quite a few times where Jalen Milroe lost the fumble. Now, I will give credit here and say a lot of them fumbles was because of his blind side. There was quite a few times I was like, man, their offensive line didn't look too great in these games that I watched. And a lot of times, when pressure was coming and the guys are stripping from behind and all that. But again, you got to still put that on the QB for holding the ball. Do you want to say, do you feel that pressure? Do you kind of hold it where it's in a more protective state? Had a couple fumbles as well when he's trying to scramble. So I got to put some of that on him as well. So I'm acknowledging all of that. Streaky accuracy, questionable decisions at times, ball security. My personal opinion, Jalen Milroe aside, these things can be improved upon with any quarterback. That's just how I feel. I could be in the minority, but this is just how I feel. Any quarterback has the potential. Will they is another question. Now let's get to some of the things that he does well. Listen, I knew Milroe was a running guy, but I told y'all I didn't watch many Bama games. I kind of knew his stats and I knew how many touchdowns he put up on the ground and all that, but without watching so many Bama games, I didn't necessarily know how he was doing it. And I wrote right here verbatim, he is a real problem running the football. Oh my Lord. Bruh, call me novice or naive on the subject. I did not know that boy could run the ball like that. I did not know that. I'm being honest with y'all. Didn't watch many Bama games. Again, a lot of college. You know, I catch some of these games. Like I knew that boy Ryan Williams, the freshman receiver. Woo! I knew he was a bad boy because I happened to catch some games or tail ends of games where he's making a big play. That kid is special. Sidebar. Ryan Williams is special. Oh my Lord. Let me say it right now, and Kenyon is going to agree with this. There are two freshmen that I'm looking at that I'm curious to see where they're going to end up if they stay healthy. One is Ryan Williams for Alabama, and the other is Isaac Brown, the running back for Louisville. Oh my Lord. Them two boys already got my eye on them. I can't wait until they enter the draft. And man, if the Steelers are in position for a receiver or running back at that time, I'm going to remember them dudes. I hope them boys continue on the path that they're on, because their true freshman season, and the Ryan Williams kid was 17. Bruh, that's a sidebar. The boy's bad. Real bad Michael Jackson. Anyway. And yes, you're right, Kenyon. You text that. I don't think I ever replied. My bad. Definitely do kind of remind you of Warwick Dunn. But the boy got some wheels on him. Boy. But anyway, let's get back. Let's get back to where I was going. I don't want to get too far off course. Jalen Milroe's escapability. How do I relate that to the Steelers if he happens to be a Pittsburgh Steeler? Let's not forget that we will be starting the season with a new left tackle. Not a new tackle to us, but a new tackle playing the left tackle position in Broderick Jones. Some of you guys have question marks there. Some of y'all don't think it will translate. We have the other half of you thinking that that's his natural position and he will excel. But then you have half of us that say, I don't know. So maybe we might want to make sure we're keeping a mobile guy back there until we really know what this line is all about. These are just things that went through my head as I'm watching him. The next thing I got for you. He not only can run the football, he will be a part of the run game. If we thought Justin Fields was a part of the run game, no. This dude is a part of the run game. Like, I mean, design quarterback runs in many of them every game. So if you still want to exercise that, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, there you go. Here's the next thing I wrote. Not only can he run the football, he has home run ability. This is what I mean when I say I didn't know that. I didn't know he taking joints 69 yards, gone, 39, like, I didn't know he gets to the edge like that. So it's only right After I watch these games, the pro day happens and the boy runs a 4.37. I'm saying to myself, Kenyon is my witness. I'm texting him and Tony like, bruh, I ain't know he had this. I didn't. I promise you, I did not know that. I said, oh, he fast. And then the pro day results come out and I said, yeah, no surprise here. All you got to do is watch him play. Nobody's catching him when he's in open field. And I mean reversing field and out, gone. I promise I'm getting somewhere. Just bear with me, guys. I know some of y'all are probably killing me in the comments. Again, the reason why I'm doing this is if I did it for Tyler Shook, and I did it for Jackson Dart, then I have to take this approach as well. But I'm going to explain to you why I would be okay. I'm going to get there. I wrote here, he can play exactly how Justin Fields played last season, maybe a bit better. And I wrote here, we've seen this style of play work with Arthur Smith's offense. We went 4-2 with it. I know it wasn't the Pittsburgh Steelers that some of y'all wanted to see. You know, some of us wanted to see more points, including me. I didn't like those 7-12 games and all of that. But we could not deny the fact that Justin Fields was a real threat running the football. Justin Fields had several rushing touchdowns in that 6-game stint. Justin Fields also running the football opened the pass game up, which allowed him to have some nice passes at times, like the one that he threw. I forget who it was to. I think it was either the GP or Van Jefferson. It was called back, but the one when he rolled out and threw it down that right sideline on the money, or the one to Calvin Austin, I think, against the Chargers, middle of the field. It allowed him to do that because they're so focused on the Steelers being a run team, run quarterback. Oh, wow, soft coverage. We hit a slant. Bam. We've seen his style of play already work. Again, listen to what I'm saying. I'm speaking from an organizational standpoint. Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator. All I'm simply doing is making a case for certain quarterbacks based off of our system. This is what I said about Jackson Dart. And I said something different about Shook. I said, yeah, Shook can move, but I didn't see him being utilized in that way as a runner like I saw Dart, and definitely like I see Milroe. Right? And for any of you, let me paint this picture. For any of you guys that were on the side of, man, the Steelers should have kept Justin Fields, follow me. For all of you that are in that camp, what is the beef with Jalen Milroe? I'm only talking to that crowd. If you were in the crowd of the Steelers should have signed Justin Fields, I don't know why you would have an issue with Milroe. You can't be telling me that Fields is that much better. Maybe he is as a veteran. But what I'm saying, I'm talking style of play and offensive fit. He could be the Steelers' Lamar Jackson. Hold on, guys. Real quick, can y'all confirm if the stream is still going? It looks like it is, but I got a pop-up that said OBS disconnected. So let me wait a second. Somebody confirm for me before I keep going. You back. Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't know what was happening there. It dropped out for a second. All right. Let me get back to what I was saying. And I'm going to keep this window up so I can see if it happens again. He could be the Steelers' Lamar Jackson. Understand what I'm saying? And this is funny because, sometimes I just say stuff to see how people are going to react. I don't never care, right? But I post things on X sometimes just to get the opposing opinions, and I like to see what the fan base or even just football fans feel. So I can say, oh, okay, you're seeing it from that perspective. Oh, you're seeing it from that perspective. Oh, and I like to see the different debates and arguments, right? So there were some people who said this. yeah, but you got to say that Lamar was way better than Milroe at that point, coming out of college. And I'm like, okay, maybe he was, but I'm not comparing apples to apples. I think we do that too much. I think we do that as a people too much. Even when we compare basketball players and who's the greatest, even rappers and all. Dog, it's all perspective. And it's subjective based off of who you like. That's why y'all, and I hate to say this, it's just a sidebar. That's why I don't get into the Mike and LeBron. I never get into that conversation. They are two totally different types of players. That's where it ends. That's where it ends. You'll never hear me say it ends with that. They were two totally different types of players. If you want to have a conversation with me about who was better, Mike or Kobe, then I might listen because rest in peace to the God, Kobe. I might listen because Kobe mimicked Mike's game. They had the same mentality. They were killers. I might listen to that, but I'll never entertain LeBron versus Mike. No, they're not the same. And LeBron James is in his 20+ year playing the way he's playing at this age. Like, even the numbers, people say the numbers game. Yeah, but I mean, the longer you play, and again, shout outs to him for being able to do it. But that's why I don't get into all of that. Because in my opinion, some of these things don't have a definitive answer. Just like the draft picks. You cannot say what is the best decision. None of us know the future. So let me get back to football. Listen, it's not apples to apples. All I'm saying is in AFC North, we know. Steelers fans, we know. I watched that kid coming out of Louisville. I watched Lamar and I was like, man, this dude is special. He's electric. But he had woes. Yes, he was inaccurate. Yes, he threw picks. He had bad throws. Oh, a lot. But I saw something in him like, man, if he could just get it together. We seen it in our division rivalries. How many years did we say, man, all we got to do is stop him from running and force him to beat us with his arm, right? Now, could we say that the last 3 years? No. We definitely couldn't say that about Lamar last season. I mean, Lamar has turned into a legit quarterback with his arm or legs. He is a problem. But he didn't start out that way. He didn't start out that way. I cannot predict Milroe's future. I'm just saying, why we try to sit on the sideline as fans and just call it, that would be a wasted pick. You don't know that. That's all I'm saying. And again, I'm going to keep preaching this. What better position are we in? We don't have the luxury to say what's the best option. We don't. Because we are in the worst possible situation from a quarterback standpoint. So anything that you do is a crapshoot. Let me move on to the next couple points. This is another reason why you want to pay attention to this. If you believe in conventional history, I do believe that the streak is still alive of the first round pick. Again, I'm not saying I want him in the first round. I'm going to qualify my statement in a second. But pay attention to who was at the pro day. History has shown us that a lot of times the first round pick comes from a pro day that the head coach has attended, or the GM, or both of them. So that history is there. Either one of them were there or both of them were there. And a lot of times, both of them were there. Let me tell you who was at Alabama's pro day. Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, our quarterback's coach, Ike Taylor. It's 4 people from the Steelers organization. We also learned that this is the 3rd official meeting that they have had with Milroe. the third one. Senior Bowl, I think the other one was Combine, and then they had, not only did they visit the pro day, and then Jalen Milroe says in his interview, man, if the opportunity comes, I would love to take advantage of being Mike Tomlin's quarterback. Of course, you're going to say that, but I'm just saying, some of this smoke you got to look at. Now, maybe that fire gets put out, but where there's smoke, sometimes fire actually rises. So that's all I'm saying. And I will address my Twitter comment in a second. But the last thing, the Steelers have reached before. Kenneth Pickett, anyone? This is another reason why I'm saying you can't take this off the table. Most people said, no, Kenny Pickett is not the pick in the first round. Fair statement. But then they kept saying that, oh, Kenny Pickett is his bad class and he's the most pro ready and blah, 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 right? And the Steelers had to reach because they had no choice. We are almost in the same situation. When they drafted Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky was signed to a 2-year deal. Mason Rudolph was also the backup. We have seen this before. We are actually, quote unquote, see the quote fingers, quote unquote, we're actually in a worse situation now because you have Mason Rudolph, no disrespect to him, but then the Thompson kid behind him, not proven at all. At least Mitchell Trubisky was proven, which we all felt like he was proven to be not a great quarterback. And Mason Rudolph was somebody that we had seen play. This situation, the only person that we really know of is Rudolph. So with your 1 and 2 right now in terms of depth chart, you're in a worse situation. And then there's Aaron Rodgers. And y'all know how I feel about that because I talked about him Thursday. But anybody who's here new, who hasn't seen a video of mine before, I do not want Aaron Rodgers at this point. I'm done with that. Cam Hayward has spoke his mind. It is affecting the locker room. How does this guy come in now after parading around? No disrespect to Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know if he's doing it on purpose, but it looks like after parading around, I'm going to make my decision. And poking fun at the Giants and the Steelers, reaching out to the Vikings. That looks like a guy that doesn't really want to go to Pittsburgh or to New York. So if you in that locker room, how you receiving him? When you got the captain, Cam Hayward, is publicly saying, dog, I want to be done with this free agency. I want to get to football. You holding us up, brother. So I don't want that to happen. So we are in the worst possible situation, so nothing hurts. Everything we do now is a roll of the dice. So let me make my final point. The reason why I said I would be mad if they didn't take a chance on him, again, I like Jackson Dart too. Some of y'all don't like him. I like Dart. For the same reason. I'm not saying he's the greatest, but I'm saying I don't know if I just want to wait around till next year. I don't know. If they do that, I'm cool. But again, guys, I'm a firm believer of two things. You don't know who you can get next year. You don't. None of it is guaranteed. And you don't know if those guys are going to pan out. I think the Steelers are in a unique situation where they could draft quarterbacks back to back. And let those cheaper contracts prevail. Think about that. You could draft somebody this year and still do what y'all say do next year. Still try to use this comp picks to move. You could still do that. So here's my last and final point as to why I would be mad if they didn't at least exercise this opportunity. Ozzie Newsome was smart enough to say, let me move back up in the first round and grab this kid. And look what has turned out for them. No, they have not won a Super Bowl. You're right. Neither has Joe Burrow. You're right. Neither has Josh Allen. You're right. Jalen Hurts did. I kind of recall Jalen Hurts being in the same situation when he came out. He wasn't the marquee guy that everybody said you should draft. All I'm saying is, man, I think it was an excellent move for them to go get Lamar. And they've been wildly successful where they are in the conversation. The Baltimore Ravens should have won them a Super Bowl by now. We can argue the reasons why they didn't, but they should have. They've had the talent, not 2024, not this past season, but I think 2023 was their season to do it. And I don't know if they get back there, but they have a chance because of the quarterback, because Ozzie Newsome was like, we're not going to wait for somebody else to get him. So that's all I'm saying. If the Steelers elect to do it, I'm not going to be mad because I'm tired of the Pittsburgh Steelers being conservative. I am tired of that. We don't take no chances. No, we didn't take a chance with Kenny Pickett. We were forced to do that. Take a chance. That's all I'm saying. There is no right answer to this quarterback situation. I respect all of y'all who are probably commenting. I'm not looking over there right now for saying, no, don't do that. I respect it. But what I'm saying is, what is the better option? You can't just give me, just wait till next year because I understand why we say that, but you can't guarantee who you're going to draft. You just can't. There's no predictable draft. And what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that any of these dudes in this class is the answer. What I'm saying is, the Steelers have a unique moment right here where they could double dip if necessary. They could draft one of these guys now. They show a little promise. You get them playing early, and you feel like we got something here. The Bo Nix. They could draft one of these dudes, and it'll be Bo Nix. Struggle a little bit early, and then next thing you know, whoa, we got something. Could be that. Why don't we ever do that? That's all I'm saying. Now, what is my preference before I come to the chat? I think Jalen Milroe probably will be there in the third. You probably don't have to get him in the first. Coming right to you, why Diggy. You probably don't have to get him in the first. But I'm saying is if the opportunity is there, we haven't picked anybody else, and let's say when we pick in the third round, or if somehow the Steelers are back in the second round and he's sitting there, I'm not mad at it. Just take a chance, man. That's all I'm saying. Just take a chance. This is the cheapest opportunity for you to take a chance. Remember this. The Steelers were going to pay Justin Fields $20 million guaranteed dollars. Let that sink in. And I'm not disrespecting Justin Fields. I'm just saying, do you not think that you could potentially get the same similar style of play with a Milroe? Yeah, Justin is more of a veteran, got more experience, but I'm just saying, if you was willing to spend $20 million there, don't be surprised if the Steelers are higher on Milroe than y'all think. That's all I'm saying. And for the record, I like Jackson Dart, right? I like that toughness. So if it came down to the Steelers are going to take somebody this year, I ain't going to be mad if they take Jackson Dart. Again, this video is preferenced around me making a case for him, right? It's preference around me making a case for Milroe the same way I did with Jackson Dart. Go back and watch that video if some of y'all are unfamiliar. I like Jackson Dart as well as saying like, hey, man, I ain't going to be mad if they take a chance on him. That's all I'm saying. What y'all got? Why Diggy? Thank you, man. Appreciate the Wonder Bread. Oh, I forgot to fix the round of applause. Hold on. I think you'll be able to hear it right here. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me know if you hear this. You might hear me double. Maybe not. Let me know if you hear this round of applause. Hopefully you're hearing that. So what I was going to say, man, let me read it. He says, I don't think we are forced to do that. We were forced to do that in 2022. They panicked and let a lame duck GM make the pick when they didn't have to. Yeah. But what I'm saying is the reason why I say they were forced to do it is because they didn't have any bona fide options, is what I'm saying. That's what I mean by that. No, they didn't have to pick him, but I'm saying they were in a similar situation where it's like, you got to go get you a quarterback. Because what did you, like, again, I do feel like most of the fan base, had we not done that and we just rocked out with Mitch Trubisky and Mason Rudolph, we all was not going to be happy with that, man. Yeah, we weren't. We weren't. Because think about it. Mitch Trubisky's gameplay is the same. And then Mason Rudolph comes in. And I know what some people are going to say, yeah, man, but Mason, Mason balled out, last season. And this and that, and then he got us to the playoff. Yeah, but we don't know. We didn't think that Mason Rudolph was going to be. We didn't think that would be the Mason Rudolph in 2022 when he has to come in and replace Trubisky. Let's keep it a buck. We can't use the result to say, oh yeah, but Mason. Nobody, maybe some of y'all, but won't nobody screaming for Mason Rudolph to be the starter. So what I'm saying is, it would have been him and Trubisky and whoever else they had. So that's why I say, Diggy, that they were forced to do it. But what y'all got, man? What y'all got? Give me some comments. Give me some comments, guys. If I missed it earlier, please send it again. Because it's not allowing me to scroll up. Hold on, let me see if I can. Nah, my scroll option ain't working. Hold on. Oh, there it is. There it is. Let me see what some of the comments y'all got up in here, man. K007 says, honestly, we just got to worry about rebuilding. I hate trying to sign these old guys thinking we're contenders. Yeah. And that's the thing. That is the thing. That's why I'm saying, man, to me, while you in this stage, guys, just throw it at the wall and see what sticks, man. Kenya says next year's QB class is a really good one, and the Steelers will attack that position in 26. Possible. But you know my narrative, Kenyon, is always, my thing is always, we cannot guarantee the outcome of that draft. That's all I'm saying. And I think, like I said, my only reason for saying this and my only reason for campaigning them to take a quarterback this draft is it doesn't stop you from doing the same thing in 26. Absolutely doesn't stop that. Now, if they do draft someone in the first round, I could understand the angst. I can understand people being like, we probably need a D-line help more. Or, man, we probably could have used this position running back. I get it. Especially without having a second. So I'm not naive to that. I'm just purely speaking from what the Steelers should do. And I definitely feel like it's not going to hurt. Because even, you only have Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. That's all you have. So you almost have to draft one of these guys that's, or who's going to be your third string. Unless they go get one of these veterans, one of these guys that are unsigned. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe that's the plan too. If no Aaron Rodgers, which at this point I hope it's not. Maybe they plan to just rock with Mason and they have one, two guys behind him. Okay. But y'all won't be happy with that. I can guarantee you. A good amount of Steelers Nation ain't gonna be happy with that. Let's see what y'all got. What else y'all got? Give me some more comments, man. Kev So Fun says we need a quarterback and running back, quarterback, and DT. Yeah. Mark Malone says it's a throwaway pick. Listen, I told you guys, I don't never agree with that. I never agree with those statements because, listen, We don't know that. That's all I'm saying. That's across the board. That's not 2025, 2026, 2027, 2024, 2023. I'm always in that mindset. You will never hear me say a pick is a throwaway pick because I don't know how a player is going to turn out. I don't. We have seen too many NFL drafts where these guys were highly projected and they didn't turn out to be nothing. Y'all have all seen that. Y'all have all seen players where everybody had them projected high. Everybody thought it was a great fit, good pick, and they didn't pan out in multiple positions, right? Can we all agree to that? So that is the only reason why I just don't do that. You guys can. I'm just telling you how I get down. I never say that because I never know who's going to be what. I never know. We never know. Bebop says, I think Milroe would be excellent for our 3rd round pick. Yeah. And this is what all I'm saying is, man, take a chance. If that boy is still sitting there, take a chance. He might turn into something. That's all I'm saying. He might turn into something because he's electric. He is electric in terms of just the threat. And again, even if he ain't your starter, if you mess around and get him in the 3rd, you have a few packages for him. I'm just saying. But he is a project. No question. Like yeah, you're going to have to be patient. So let me preface it by saying that. I'm not saying that you pick him and next year we off and running. No. You're going to have to let him develop, but just imagine what he could possibly turn out to be. Keyword, possibly. What else y'all got? DW says, I have no hope this year. I'd rather tank. Now, I feel you, but you know that's not happening. So, it's not happening. So, this is all I'm trying to say. Shout out to my guy, Mark Malone. How do you guys speak so absolutely like that? You saying that Mason Rudolph would throw for 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns. How can you speak confidently like that? What makes you think that would happen? And how do you guys in the chat feel about that? Like, how can we speak so confidently about Mason Rudolph throwing for over 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns? I respect it. I just don't know how y'all do that. Milk says, just roll with Mason, draft a QB next few years. That would be fine too. And Milk, like I said, I'm only just making a case for them to potentially draft a quarterback this year and next year. But I promise you, if they just roll with Mason Rudolph, I'm not going to be mad. The only thing that I would say is if Milroe or somebody like that is in a opportune spot, like 3rd round, Shuck is still there in the 4th or something like that, 3rd, 4th. If your plan is to just roll with Mason, why not draft one of these guys on the cheap? That's all I'm saying. I would do it. Hey, well, yeah, I just don't know how you come to that conclusion, Mark. I respect it, but does anybody else think that? Charles R says, frankly, I want Tyler Shuck or Dart, but Milroe can be developed better. You know what, Charles? Round of applause to that comment. Round of applause. Charles R is saying exactly what I'm saying. All we're talking about, guys, is just, it just, some of these dudes could develop. Again, I don't know how many times I have to say it. The only reason why I'm even talking like this is because what better position are we in? We're not in any better position. The only reason why you hear me talking like this, because it's not like we have many options. So, okay, yeah, you guys say y'all don't believe it. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I said, my boy Mark, man, I love all you guys, but I don't know where you getting that certainty from with Mason Rudolph, 35 touchdowns and over 4,000 yards. I just don't know. Yeah. Jack Bauer says, I truly believe Mason Rudolph is going to surprise us. No, not a surprise. Look, Mason Rudolph played good for us the last time we saw him. But what I'm saying, I don't see 35 touchdowns and 4,000 yards. I would love for him to do that, but there's nothing that tells me that that's going to happen. Like I said, I don't speak in absolutes. I can't. Jacob Perkins is making fun. He says 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns is crazy. No, more like 5,045. Yeah, I don't know, man. But hey, if it happens, Mark, hey, I'll give you your flowers and say, hey, Mark called it. But I just don't. I don't see it, man. Yeah, even with GP and DK and Muth, I just don't. I don't see it. We'll see. I would hope to be wrong. Jamal McCullum says Milroe was a dog early in the year. Man, Mason was a third string. Why would you think he could play ball, bro? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how we just know that right off the bat. Antoine says Mason will be serviceable, nothing more. That's kind of where I land with it. I think Mason Rudolph would be able to run the offense, but I don't see gaudy numbers. But hey, I'm cool with being surprised, if you will. Capsule Fun says each season is different. Mason was bad last year, and he was a backup for a reason. Yeah, very true. Very true. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss any other Wonder Bread, man. I see that, my man, Why Diggy. Okay, it looks like that's all we had. So, if you guys had any plans to do that, feel free, because I'm only going to be here about 2 more minutes. So just giving y'all that last call, if you will. What else y'all got? Somebody else had something I wanted to read. Lavelle Pitt says, Steelers are waiting on Rodgers like a girl that doesn't want you. It's shameful, man. That's what I said Tuesday night, man. Dog, this is crazy. This is crazy, man. It's not the steal away. It's bad, bro. You looking like, dog, perfect analogy. It's exactly like that. It's exactly like that girl that you got your eyes on and you drooling over her, and shorty like, fam, please stop. She won't even friend zone you. That's exactly what it looks like. This is bad. This is not the steal away. Just stop it, man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it's all Mike T's doing, but I'll even use Mike T's phrase against him. We want hostages. We want volunteers, not hostages. We want volunteers, not hostages. So why are we allowing Aaron Rodgers to make us, make it look like we will accept the hostage? Oh, man, we got some more Wonder Bread really quick. Round of applause, man, to Pat Hutchinson. I appreciate you. I can see that. He says Mason will throw for about 3,200, 20 touchdowns and 12 interceptions or something like that. Appreciate you, Sim, man, and I appreciate you. I really thank you for that. And that's kind of where I'm at too, man. And that's kind of, like Antoine said, that's serviceable. That's not a disrespect to Mason, but that's kind of what he's been. He gonna throw some picks. He'll do enough. GP and DK and Move, those guys will do enough to get him some touchdowns. He gonna take shots down the field, but he's gonna throw some interceptions because and again, all quarterbacks throw them. Some guys have great years where they don't throw picks a lot, but y'all know what Mason Rudolph's game is. He's going to look for the primary read mostly. He's going to force a ball here and there. He's going to take deep shots. He's not. Oh, that's the one other thing I wanted to say about Milroe. I do acknowledge from the games that I've watched, I could almost say this about Dart as well. And maybe it's the offensive structure. I didn't see a lot of throws where Milroe had to anticipate. And I could almost say that about Dart too. It's like kind of like they took shots down the field or they were college open, right? That could just be the college game. You know, I don't know if me personally, if there are many quarterbacks at the college level that I could kind of see that, like, ooh, he throws with anticipation and all of that sometimes. But a lot of times it's the college game. It's kind of like how they scheme guys open and things like that, or they take the one-on-one shot downfield. So you're not always able to, in my opinion, you're not always able to tell if a quarterback has that piece. But I know that might be a knock, so I will acknowledge it. From the games that I watched, I didn't really see too many throws where I felt like, oh, he kind of threw his guy open, right? Like I said, there were some throws he was accurate on. There were some bad throws. But I didn't really see any routes or anticipated, anticipating the guy coming open. But like I said, that could be college game. You know what I mean? It's just the style of offense could dictate that. So I don't want to knock Jalen or Dart for that matter for that. But it's something to note, and you look for those things as they progress in the NFL. You look for quarterbacks that can do that. But all right, man, I think that's all we got, man. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. One more. Ali says, Sim, we should remember A-Rod is picking the team he'll most likely retire from. Huge decision. I don't want him. Yeah, man, I'm done with Aaron Rodgers, man. I don't want to talk about him again. And by me saying that, hopefully that means the Steelers move on. Point blank, period. But all right, man, let's go ahead and get out of here, man. Again, I appreciate you guys coming through, hanging out with me tonight. Thank you for everybody who dropped some Wonder Bread. Always appreciate y'all for that, man. You don't have to do that. And for y'all that do it, I definitely appreciate you for that, man. Outside of that, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you if you like the content, show me you like the content by hitting the like button. And if you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel. Last but not least, turn on your notifications. But really, 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 really important, hit the like button. You guys have no idea how much that helps the channel tremendously. Hit the like button. Also, before we go, make sure you guys stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in. And I shall catch you in the next one.